Good morning. Aloha from Florida. Satellites in space do not exist. Satelloons do exist. That's satellite technology hanging by a balloon about 20 or 25 miles over the surface of our flat and stationary Earth. You want to have some fun? Go Google satellites in space and then realize every image you see is a computer-generated image. If satellites were real, satellites in space that is, satellites on balloons are real, but if satellites in space were real, we would see them transit between us and the moon almost every night, except for a new moon, but because you can't see a new moon. No optical equipment can see it. Not even a satelloon can detect a new moon. Where does the moon go then? That's another subject. But satellites in space do not exist. If they did, we would not even need satelloon technology. You know, there was all this rigmarole about, oh no, China is spying on America with satelloons. Really? China already owns a lot of America. They don't need a satellite hanging on a balloon to spy on America. So it's just ridiculous. NASA or whoever had that particular satelloon up there got caught when someone saw it, or when it, lowered its altitude so that you could see it. See, at a 20-25 mile altitude, no one is seeing those satelloons. They are too far away. The angular resolution of your eye will not be able to see a satelloon. So satellites in space don't exist. Satelloons is the only thing that is even remotely true. And you can see satellites transit the moon sometimes when they're on a balloon. It doesn't happen often, but there are videos of that, and you can go watch it. Especially when Google had its Loon project. Why would Google, as wealthy as a company as they are, why would they need satelloons instead of satellites? And if satellites in space were real, why does Google and Facebook continue to spend billions of dollars the last few years laying undersea cables? Oh, I know. You're going to say, oh, Elon Musk, he's putting up Starlink satellites so everybody can have cheap internet or free internet. No, he's not. There's no such thing as satellites in space. There are only satelloons. If there were satellites in space, we would not need reconnaissance aircrafts. Think about it. The military ships way out in the ocean, do you know some of them still use aircrafts from the 1960s and 70s to do reconnaissance because they can't see past the horizon at a certain distance? Why would they need that if there were satellites in space showing the entire Earth? Some of you need to start thinking for yourself and stop believing the bullshit you were brainwashed with. There's a satellite right there. Can you see that tower? Towers, land-based towers and undersea cables, that controls 95 or maybe as much as 99% of all communications. Maybe there's 1% or 5% of communications happening through satelloons. I highly doubt it. Did you know that the antenna on an airplane is on the underbelly, the underside, not on the top? Where do you think that airplane that's only 5 or 6 miles away is getting its Wi-Fi? There's towers everywhere. And an airplane is only 5 or 6 miles over the surface of those towers. Again, satellites in space do not exist. If you believe they do, congratulations, you have a science fiction belief. You're believing something to be true that's not true. So, why do they do this? Because they want to perpetuate the hoax. They want to perpetuate the lie that the Earth is a spinning wet rock in outer space. And of course, it's not. Flat Earth is the only observable, measurable, and repeatable reality. The globe is a delusion. It is a scientific absurdity. The natural physics of a large body of water. How many times do I have to say it? Those of you who are new to this or new to me, just go research reality for a year or two and see that flat Earth is reality. The globe, you cannot find any empirical evidence for it. How do you think so many people became flat earthers? So many smart, successful people became flat earthers because they tried to prove the globe true. They tried to debunk flat earth. And after a few months, they couldn't do it. After a year, they still couldn't do it until there was just so much evidence for flat earth, they had to accept the fact that the earth is flat. You don't have to believe me. You can research it and find out for yourself. When it comes to flat earth, there is a mountain of evidence. When it comes to the globe, there is a mountain of bullshit. Have a good day. God bless.